Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video I will be telling you how astrology is helping me in day-to-day life. And I must confess that this was inspired by another video of another astrologer who did the same thing. But in his video, to my surprise, he was restricting it to how it helps him to plan the week and what activities to do based on the vara or the day. So each day of the week is connected to some planet, and you can see how this planet is placed in your chart and plan accordingly. So we could categorize this as the material tool helping in the metaphysical and also material pursuits. But I thought that I will give a try from my perspective, and I have here 5 points, and let's discuss about this. So the first important thing, we are starting from the metaphysical point of view, the philosophical conceptual perspective, is that if astrology is working, so no matter if I know my chart or I don't, if astrology is working, there is some direction between this micro, my world, and macro energies or ideas, whatever you will call it. There is some kind of objective order. There is some cause for what is happening. There is some order. I can get some information how to drive my car in this world. Then it is bringing me the sense, the meaning, and it's very, very important just because it is protecting me from this existential crisis. So what is also interesting, according to one point of view, for example, which is very much accentuated in the Viktor Frankl book about the physician and the soul, he's saying that many neurotic disorders like anxiety, depression, and others, this can be really founded, or this can be created because of that existential dread. So there is no, we could say, inherent meaning. People are losing this, and then this is translated to some kind of neurotical disease or ailment or some mental challenges. And what I found very interesting as from the research or discoveries of these doctors which are researching this problem, is that when those people with this existential problem like anxiety or fears or depression, when they were trying to explain how they feel, for example, that all of my situation now, it's feeling like I'm drowning, or I don't have space, I feel very much in the, like on fire. So there were various descriptions, and what is interesting is that they found some kind of connection between those explanation and the situation, which was more existential, so more on that, we could call it the meaning level, and not just the how it then translated to that specific more conventional situation like problems with the job or health or relationship. So there was something deeper behind it. So astrology, I would say, is giving the meaning that at least there is some direction, there is some order. So this is making the whole approach to life much more, I would say, hopeful, much more also valuable, and there is some sense, meaningful. Everything is then more optimistic. So the first point is quite metaphysical. The second point is more psychological. This is the confirmation. It's giving me a strength to whatever I'm doing. Sometimes the reading can say that this path is not the best, you should be doing something else. And probably that's something else, that the alternative way the person was also starting, but this could be neglected. And then based on the chart, we can specify which part can bring more soul satisfaction, more wealth, and more other good things depending on the chart and what you want to get. So I would say that there is a great value of life which is bringing that uniqueness of your life. And you have this, for example, to me it was very important. I had in my mind my chart, especially in the previous years when I was building my career life, and even in earlier years when I have, for example, some self-confidence issues and problems with my finding my path. So when I had this chart in my mind and I encountered some kind of challenges, then it really helped me to understand who I am and it was like, we could say, like mathematical coach behind me. It was like some strengthening power. I had that information. Okay, I'm like this. These are my forte of the chart. This is my forte of my personality. I can do this. I'm very good at these things. Like, for example, in astrology, I know, like, I have Sun, Jupiter, Rahu, and Ketu very well placed in Rashi and the Navamsha. Right? I have Jupiter connected to Venus. I have other nice combination in the Dashamsa for astrology. So whenever I had any doubts, for example, regarding the consultation or courses or other things, and when I think about the chart and my direction, where I should go, my mission, then it is really giving also the direction. I also remember we were discussing with my Guruji, Visi Larsen, years back, when I was also considering the career line in the DJing and music production, because I was very much into it. I have also the Sun in the Navamsha Lagna. But then we have found, based on those various yogas in my chart, that there is really much more potential in the career life, in the Jyotisa vedanga, right? This Sun, Jupiter, Ketu in the Trikona, and also the 10th house, how it was all there in the Navamsha. It could specify where I could find the line, and the psychological also backdrop of your personality, who you are. And sometimes we have some issues to accept ourselves, to accept our nature. We can have some quirks, we can be introvert, or we are not good at, we don't have some super excellent emotional or personal relation intelligence, so we may feel guilty about that. But when we are looking at our chart, what's our good strength, what are our weaknesses, and how we can solve them, and then also we can see the whole so-called negatives as a rather part of characteristics, that this is the specific nature. This nature has these good things, and these are more challenging. So when you are seeing your nature in this way, it is not so depressing, and you can really make good use of this information, and this can really empower you to find your way, find your career life, find your partner, find your friends, your community, and so on. So I would say this second point, the first one was metaphysical, just to understand that there is some meaning, and second would be more to understand my nature and empower myself with the information about my karma. The third thing is that we can use the chart to give us tips what to do in all areas of life. This could be career life, relationship, health, also the secondary, like academics, spirituality, the property, secondary from perspective of how frequent they are asked by people. So if we have some general dynamics in the D1, we can understand which forces, which planets are good and bad for us. For example, we can understand which people we should listen to, or which people can be our enemies, or which people, or should I, for example, work with my partner, or what kind of people will come to my business, what is my target, with whom I should create the business, when I should do that. So there is so much information, and when we are studying this chart through years, or for people who got one or even more readings, like 5th reading, there is so many tips that they are somehow subconsciously with us. So for example, if someone would ask me now, what tips is the astrology is giving you, it could be hard for me to tell so quickly, because they are so much internalized through the years, and I'm moving in this world subconsciously having this knowledge. So I know my chart, I know all the good points, I know with whom I should be close to. It was all so many times digested. I was thinking about this so much, and also other people who got the Vedic reading from a good astrologer, they got the yogas they have in chart, that all those tips have been internalized, and you are moving in this world having all those things in mind, and they can really change totally your life. So then you can take, for example, the Varga chart, which is the specific chart of a specific area of life, like children, academic, spirituality, property, relationships, your children, your parents, and so on. And then you have additional information. So you have additional dynamics, which are the good parts, which are bad parts, good periods, bad periods, what you should do, how to block the negative, how to emphasize the positive things. And then you are adding the Dashas. So this is the fourth dimension, the time to all that, what is happening. And then you can also see the yearly chart. In that yearly chart, you have again another dynamics, because the yoga, the whole chart is like a machine. You know that if you push that button, it will give that outcome. So you shouldn't click here. You shouldn't be around these places. Just to avoid this, better to emphasize this part of the chart. So you have so many information and so many tips, which is then helping you to move in this world. I like to see these things also as some kind of anti-classist or conquering the privilege. So there is some, we could say, birth roulette, right? We are getting this and that amount of resources. And with the help of astrology, we can understand better where, when, and how to get those resources. So we could also think this as some way of compensating this unequal distribution of these resources. Of course, this is all the law of karma, but we don't have this vijnana, we don't have this realization, and therefore it can be very hard. And that as social kshatriya consciousness, we have to act from the conventional knowledge, or the vyavaharika, as the philosophical scriptures are saying. And therefore astrology can also help us to understand where are those resources, and therefore give us more also the privilege where to and how to use what we can have in our hand in life. Okay guys, if you like this video so far, please don't forget to click the thumbs up. It really helps the channel, according to what we know. It makes this video more viral on this platform, so others can also watch this. Also, if you like this video, subscribe to not miss any future one, and we are publishing here at least once a week. So if you are into this beautiful science of Vedic astrology, then definitely you are in the right place. So click that subscribe button with the bell notification on. And now let's go back to this video. The fourth point, of course, is very important, and someone could say, why you are not doing this as the first point? So these are these remedies, the upaya. We have a threefold remedies. We have the yantra, mantra, and tantra. They are working on the mind, soul, and the body level. And I could also say that we can categorize also remedies into the tools. So are the tools material, or are the tools or methods spiritual? Like, for example, if you are doing the mantra, then you are having contact with some kind of spiritual or transcendental substance. The mantra is not from this world. And if you are doing things like, if you are using this material tools, then of course this is from this world, we can say that you are using this material tool. But also, what is your goal, or on what level you are working? This is another categorization. You can either help yourself on these material things, and you can also work on your spiritual or your value things, right? Or your goal. So there are different level of consciousness, and there can be I was thinking a different permutation. You can use the material tools to increase your spiritual or meaning of life, at least, right? So you can use your thoughts, you can read the books, you can that is also quite subtle. It's something between material and spiritual, but still you can use these material tools to help yourself spiritually, right? Or you can use material things for material goals. But you can also use the spiritual things like mantra for material goals, right? So, for example, there could be a philosopher atheist who will have the higher consciousness, like the person who is doing the sadhana, but the goal of the sadhana can be very material, right? He wants to increase the quite egoistical, could be, right? The goals: I want to get more money, I want to get more things in life, I want to be better, I want to be more attractive, I want to be more visible, my status should be better, and things like that. Of course, that can be a part of fulfillment, and this could be a part of some bigger picture, but I hope that you are getting what I want to say. And you can, of course, use the spiritual things for the spiritual goals, right? Like there is this Maha Mantra. You can use the special, very spiritual mantras to lift your consciousness, to understand more, to increase your jnana, to increase your consciousness, to have better connection to absolute or even the serve absolute, or have some relationship with the Brahman or even the personified God like Krishna, or depending on your rasa, depending on your attraction, on your school, and so on. So there are these 4 type of permutation and what you can do in that context of remedies, right? So metaphysical remedies for material or metaphysical goals, or material remedies for also material or metaphysical goals. And the last point would be the dashas. I have many friends who are asking me, for example, if they have some challenging times like breakup or some financial stress, they are asking me when this will end. It will be 2 weeks or a month or 3 months, when we can have some rays of hope, when they are coming. So according to the same book of Viktor Frankl, we have 3 types of values. One is related to experiencing the thing, second is to creating the things, and the third one is about the value of attitude. This is the attitude when we cannot create anything and we cannot experience. So when there is the, we could say, the bad dasha is coming, the resources are blocked, and then we still have the choice about the value of our attitude towards what we are experiencing. So I was thinking that this can be attributed to Aquarius, because it is like a punishment. Also there is some stambhana nature, some being stuck, we cannot move. It's like Rahu is loading Aquarius, so it's like a jail. And still the Aquarius is very philosophical sign, and this is natural 11th house, when this knowledge is coming up from some form of tapa, austerity, or even some suffering. And therefore the Aquarius is very philosophical sign. So I was thinking that this value of attitude is very much related to Aquarius, and therefore we still have a choice how we will react to such a very challenging, it could be very extreme, challenging situation, can be seemingly hopeless. But if we have those meaning of life, when we have those meaning and the direction, we can go through every challenge. We can overcome any obstacle. Dashas, also the timing when the dasha will change, because as also was said, the worst has already happened, right? I love this quote. We are already prepared, we have experience, because the first experience, the first trauma was the worst, then we are somehow prepared. And when we know this dasha, when we know these periods, good, bad, when there will be some shift of situation, even the small improvement, and from where it will come, what I can suspect, this is all making the situation much more bearable, I would say. So to sum it up, the first one was very metaphysical, just the understanding that there is the order in this world, there is some direction, that is not dystopian things without control. This is already very empowering. The second is giving the power to our uniqueness, to our quirky nature. Whatever we are, we know the strengths and challenges, and by knowing our nature, we can empower ourselves and go through life with this better self-confidence, better power. Third is just the practical tips. So there is a lot of advices, a lot of hints the astrological chart can give us how to maximize our potential in health, relationship, and career life. The fourth is, of course, about the remedies. By knowing our chart, we can understand the mantra, the spiritual syllables. We can recite and create this vibration and push the energy of our challenging karmic roots we have, which are giving birth to various situations in our life. So by mantra, we are working on those very root things in our life. And when we change the root, then also the flowers and the fruits will be different. Last one was about the Dashas, knowing the periods when the good things will start, when the challenging times will end. This is also giving us a lot of help. These are my 5 points how astrology is helping me in that day-to-day life. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it for today. I hope you find these 5 points somehow inspiring you, and let me know in the comments how Vedic astrology is inspiring you, how it is improving your quality of life, how it's helping in your day-to-day decisions. I'm very curious to read your comments below, and thanks for watching till the end and being here with me on this channel. Please don't forget to click the thumbs up, subscribe for more, and see you in the next one.